course, we are also learning a lot more about Cole Allen's past as authorities continue to dig through the home. The computer scientist and teacher also developed video games, including a first-person shooter game, and even made a small donation to Kamala Harris's 2024 campaign. We are also learning tonight about his sister. She apparently told authorities that Allen was a member of a group called the Wide Awakes and had attended at least one No Kings protest, which seems to be quite a departure from the person that Cole Allen was back in 2017 when he was using his engineering skills to help disabled people.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Senior Investigations Editor at Fox News Digital, Asra Nomani, joins us now. And I so appreciate the depth of your knowledge and how quickly you have been able to unpack more about this potential would-be assassin, this person who apparently was attempting to target members of the administration. Give us sort of a sense of how did he get to this place? And by the way, I want to ask you specifically, how did he even travel to get to the Correspondents' Dinner?
Yeah, well, Kevin, it's really great to talk to you. First, that you're healthy and fine, because last I saw you was the wink that you cast right before the dinner was beginning. And things were so innocent then, 24 hours ago. But what the world has seen is that this danger that happens with radicalization. You know, a lot of people have talked about this young man as a lone wolf. But in fact, what we've discovered is that he operated and lived in an ecosystem over this past decade that took him from being this just very nerdy geek who did this wheelchair invention that you just showed, to then getting on a train from California to then rush into the Hilton and try to assassinate innocents. And so what happened in those 10 years is a lot of mystery, but what is also very clear is that in his last words before taking this action, he repeated a lot of the rhetoric and the hate that has been expressed in these protests that we've seen across the country, manufactured hate against the administration and sometimes against the United States of America.
You know, Asra, I can't help but feel that same way. I mean, of course, I want this man to go to jail for a long time. In a way, I almost feel sorry for him, because you see someone who has a genius about him, someone who's done exceptionally difficult things, like getting into universities that are difficult and doing well at it. And it's the same thing. It's how does someone like that has that much promise to bring good to the world turn into this? Because you don't just, in the very limited amount of information we have, you don't just read evil, but evil is what has come from it in some way, shape, or form. I want to ask you about this group, and you probably haven't had a chance to do too much research, but the Wide Awakes. I went on their website, on their social media. I mean, it looks like a bunch of like artistic people, and of course they look very left, but you don't see hateful rhetoric. You see multiple times on the website nonviolent. And then, you know, also the only connection we have here is a testimony from his sister, so who knows? But did you see anything there? Do they have subgroups that are a little bit more malicious, or did you see anything in that?
Well, you know what I saw is an ecosystem again of a network that just locks people into an ideological point of view. And, you know, it's something that I think you will understand very deeply. 25 years ago, I became a sort of, you know, accidental student of radicalization when 9/11 happened. I went to Pakistan and I studied radicalization in my Muslim community. And we know this from the pipeline that has happened of young people into becoming terrorists even. And you could argue that the act that was happening Saturday night was very much like a terrorist act. It happens oftentimes with vulnerable people, as you know, people who are searching for an identity. And when you just lock people into this us versus them mentality that has basically defined so much of the No Kings protests and the Tesla takedowns and all this, you know, rhetoric around bringing the Republican Party and the Trump administration to its knees, you then can create a very hostile and aggressive person, as exhibited in many of the words that he repeated that came out of that same rhetoric.
Asra, it's Alicia Acuna here. One of the things that I found striking in reading up on this suspect was that when he was at Caltech, he was a member of the Christian Fellowship of the university, but then in this manifesto, it's very anti-Christian. And it's even more striking, right?
Yeah, and I think that's another great example of how we are really have to be careful about the search for identity, among so many people, especially young people, and their influence by these kind of networks that may seem, very innocent, but when they lock you into identity politics and sectarianism, that's that slippery slope that can lead to radicalization. One part of his resume from that time period was working at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory,
Yeah.
which is,
Right.
really difficult internship to get. I just confirmed that this afternoon by the NASA public affairs folks. And just like you all can see, this was a lost youth to America. And what he was captured by was this hate
Right.
that so many people want to deny exists, but has to be conquered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Asra Nomani, thank you so much for your time tonight. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.